Good morning, everybody. How you doing? So I had promised you this parable a few days ago. So I want to be a man of my word. Okay, so this is the parable of the Crystal River. I was going to try to paraphrase it, but I wouldn't do it justice if I tried to paraphrase it. So I'm going to try to read it, but not sound like it's being read so much. All right. So people were questioning the master. He gave them some advice, and they did not want to accept what he said. And so it goes here. And the master answered and said, "Once there lived a village of creatures along the bottom of a great crystal river. The current of the river swept silently over them all, young and old, rich and poor, good and evil, the current going its own way, knowing only its own crystal self. Each creature, in its own manner, clung tightly to the twigs and rocks of the river bottom, for clinging was their way of life, and resisting the current is what each had learned from birth. But one creature said at last, 'I am tired of this clinging. Though I cannot see with my eyes, I trust that the current knows where it is going. I shall let go and let it take me where it will. Clinging, I shall surely die of boredom.' The other creatures laughed and said, 'Fool! Let go, and the current you worship will throw you and you tumble and smash across the rocks, and you will die quicker than boredom.' But the one heeded them not, and taking a deep breath, let go. And at once he tumbled and smashed by the current across the rocks. Yet in time, as the creature refused to cling again, the current lifted him free from the bottom, and he was bruised and hurt no more. And the creatures downstream, whom he was a stranger, cried and said, 'See, a miracle! A creature like ourselves yet flies. See the Messiah come to save us all.' And the one carried in the current said, 'I am no more Messiah than you. The river delights to lift us free. If only we dare to let go our true work, this voyage, this adventure.' But every creature cried the more, 'Savior!' all the while clinging to the rocks. And when they had looked again, he was gone, and they were left alone, making legend of a Savior." So basically, it's a great story. It has a religious connotation, but you can take it that way if you like. You can take it in many different ways. The fact of the matter is that we cling to certain things that we've been taught from birth. We cling to jobs and statuses and what things symbolizes to us because that's what we've been told and we've been taught, and we've been brainwashed into this. And when we see somebody who looks like ourselves doing something greater, we have a Messiah-like feeling towards them, that they are to come and save us and teach us and guide us, but more so that they are supposed to give to us without us actually letting go and going out and doing for ourselves. You see, within each one of you is the ability to heal. You know, you can either be healthy or you can be sick. You can either be rich or you can be poor. You could have freedom or you can be a slave. It is within you. It is not something outside of you that determines whether or not you can be these things. It is the mere fact that these things are available to you at all times. It's in the great current of the universe that we can have this. The Creator set this up so that it is within you. You were given dominion over everything inside of you and outside of you. We talked about the law of cause and effect. Only when you are the cause can you have the effect that you want. You have to do this by increasing and raising your vibration to come to the understanding. You know, in the very beginning of many videos ago, I talked about you have to come into a level of understanding. See, there's the acquirement of knowledge. You acquire knowledge, and then you come to the level of understanding that knowledge. But even in that, there are many, many, many people who understand the knowledge of the world, knowledge of abundance, the knowledge of creation, the knowledge of having. But yet, they cling to what they feel is security, fighting against the current that says that, hey, if you want this, you can have this. If you want a great love in your life, you can have it. If you want a great friendships, if you want a great family, if you want a great business, if you want to have a great job, if you want to have great travels, you can have these things. But in order to do so, you have to release yourself. Stop clinging to the things of old, clinging to the things that you've been holding on to, that you've been taught by your parents, you've been taught by, so many people, and taught by society, and taught by, yes, religions, that you are to cling to this one thing in this one way, in this one understanding. Yet, if you go back and look at the history of all things, you will find that there are those who decided to cling no more, and in their letting go, yes, sometimes they were bumped, they were bumped, they were bruised, sometimes they were injured, sometimes they failed, sometimes they went through hardships, and they lost people, and they lost, things about themselves. But eventually, those who refuse to cling back to the old thing eventually are raised up. Eventually they flow with the current. Eventually they hit a new level. And when we see them doing this, too often we make legend of them. We make it seem like they are something that's greater than what we are. But no one on this planet is greater than the next person. The racist would say that I'm greater because I'm white, or I'm black, or I'm Asian, or whatever. My skin tone determines my ability to think, my ability to let go, my ability to feel, my ability to love. It makes no sense. It is something that has been taught to people over and over again, but yet we continue to reteach it. If you're brought up in a certain country, then there's a certain paradigm that you have that other people don't, when it is all something that is taught. It's all something that is taught. We consistently tear each other down, only to raise up those who decided that they weren't going to listen to what's been said that should tear them down, that is designed to tear them down. So what am I telling you? I'm telling you because I want this to be over in 7 minutes. What I'm saying is that you must stop clinging. You cannot attract greatness in your life if you're still clinging to a lower level thing. You cannot attract in your life great people if you're still clinging to negative and old people. You cannot ever, if you want to be a billionaire, it will never happen unless you become the greatest investor of all time. It will not happen if you are still clinging to a 9-to-5. If you're still trading in your money, your time for money, it just won't happen unless you become the CEO, and from that point you get umbrellas, and you get, and then even at that person, they're still investing in so many things. It just doesn't happen. If you want to have great children, you cannot allow their main influence to come from their friends, the school systems, the government. You have to be mindful of the influence you are putting into them, and what other people who are coming in contact with them. I am very protective of who says what to my children and what they see, especially when they were in those years between like 4 years old and 14. Those are very vital years that I was very protective of what they heard, what they saw. So those are the kind of things. Like, I grew up being told that there was something wrong with me because I was dark skinned. So I ensured that my daughters didn't receive that because they are darker of skin. Right? But I protected them so that they didn't experience what I experienced. Now, it's not 100% protection. They still experience some of it. But you understand, you have to be the guardian of your mind and the mind of your family and your children. If you don't, then you're allowing someone else to be that. And there is no reason that you should be looking for a third party to bring greatness to you, because you are great. You have greatness inside you. I believe in you. I believe in me. I believe in everyone. We all have this power inside of us, but it is for us to access it. And you have to accept it and believe it. And then you got to let go. Let go. Stop clinging. Stop clinging. The current of the universe, the current of God, the current of the Creator, whatever you want to call him, it is there for you to be able to use. His knowledge, his wisdom, his understanding is there for you to use for yourself, because you have dominion over it all. And it is there for you to use it. But you have to make the choice. I make the choice that my greatness is non-negotiable. I pray that you make the choice that your greatness is non-negotiable as well.